Ambulance Victoria take heat-related call-outs very seriously. If you are old, young, or have a significant medical condition, your health outcomes from heat exposure can be fatal. We all know that heat exhaustion can be preventable. You need to make adjustments to your daily routine in hot days or spells of hot days, and you need to remember to have a friend, family member or neighbour to call on if you need some respite or just to check in with.
Welcome, Lucy.
Ah, thank you. Such a nice...
Hey, before I sit down, could you do me a favour, please? Would you mind pulling down that blind?
Oh,
and I'll
sure.
pull this one down and take off your glasses.
I've noticed you've got your outside blinds down, which is good. So I've noticed you don't have your aircon on. Do you usually use it?
I sure do. I use it first thing in the morning when it gets above 30 degrees because it starts to get too hot inside. But up till then, with the green walls, the shade cloth, the good blinds, I managed to keep it pretty cool.
So Carol, how do you know when it's going to be hot? Do you listen to the radio or watch the news or something?
No, I don't like sound, so I use things I can see. So I check my phone every night and it has on it where the weather is, and it gives me hourly, look at that, where the sun's going to be and what the temperature's going to be.
Yep, that's great. And also on that, I'm pretty sure you can see the week's worth of weather.
Yeah, it gives me 10 days, so I can flick into the 10 days like that, and there it all is every day. So I know how many days I'm locked up because it's too hot for me to go outside.
Yeah, that's a great way to be able to plan ahead. Carol, I see you've got some water here. Have you been sipping often?
I try.
Yeah. How much do you usually drink?
Thanks for reminding me. Well, it depends how hot it is. I find it hard getting enough in, but I know I should be drinking 8 glasses a day, probably 6 of this side a day.
Yeah, that's good. And do you just drink water, or is there other things that you like?
Well, I don't like having the kettle on in the hot days, so I do anything that's hot at night, so can get it out during the night, the temperature. So I make myself herb tea, and it's cold and it's refreshing, and I use that.
Yeah, that is such a great way, because you don't have to always drink water. Things like cordial and iced tea is really good, but it's just so important that you just sip all day. So Carol, what are we getting ready for lunch today?
Well, last night I cooked a couple of days' food because it's going to be hot. And that's one of them. Oh, you'll need a bowl.
Yeah, thank you. It's so important to not have the stove going and veggies boiling in the middle of the day in such hot weather.
Yeah, I try to keep heat out in the daytime. I want it cool.
Yeah. Do you usually stick to like 3 big meals a day, or do you snack more?
No, I have a main meal in the middle of the day, and I usually have egg for breakfast or something, a protein, and I snack fruit, love fruit, and nuts and stuff like that. Lucy, one of the things that concerns me is when we've got long runs of hot weather and having enough food in. I try, but sometimes I'll run out of something what I think's essential, like bananas or something. What do you suggest?
Well, I think it's a really good idea to have, either a contact number with a friend or a neighbour or your family, so they can go and get the essentials for you when there's a number of days of such a big heat wave. But like we said before, checking the weather, if you've got 7 days of it, you can plan ahead And if you know you're going to have 4 days of extreme heat, then stock up more and things like that. What do you do when you're inside? Do you usually just sit still? And...
The long hot spells, or even just an ordinary day, if I sit too long, I start to get stiff.
Okay.
And that's hard, because getting out of the chair or going to the kitchen or in and out of bed, what would you suggest to help me not get stiff that will also reduce the boredom of being stuck inside?
Of course, yeah. Well, there's a few exercises that I could show you to do.
That'd be great.
Help with stiffness, keep the circulation going. So just with your feet, you can just flex up your toes and heels, just on one, and then you can do the other. That's it. And then you can alternate, just like you're sort of walking. That's it. So that's a great one. One's with your legs out. Excellent. Just stretch them right out. And you can even just do marching on the spot. Some with your hands, you can just sort of turn them and just breathe out. Deep, big breath out. And then back in and out. And another really great one is just gentle movement of your elbow up, and you can do the other one. That's it.
Come in, Lucy.
Hi Carol, how are you?
Oh, not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, good thanks. How's your week been? It's been pretty hot.
Yeah, it's been a bit hot, but it did cool down a bit too, which was good.
Yeah, how have you been handling it?
Well, it is the beginning of the summer, and I always find that hard to adjust.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did get out and get my shopping one morning.
Oh, good. And you've still been drinking plenty of water?
I'm trying to.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I've brought this with me today. It's a information booklet on things on how to handle the heat. So there's a fan here that you can just use whenever
Thanks,
you like.
and I've got my own little fan on right now, but
excellent.
this will be good too.
There's a thermometer that you can put on the fridge. There's also just a guidebook, which is basically all the information we've been talking about. But you can just refer to that whenever you need. And then here is a action plan.
I'll try and read this a page a day before you come back and learn it.
That's it. With this action plan here, there's some really cool steps and tips.
And I see it's for a heat wave itself.
For sure, yep. But the important section is the contact numbers. So maybe together we could fill out your doctor's number, or a close relative and friendly neighbour's number. So you can put this on the fridge, and then anyone that comes can refer to it.
I've got them all in my phone.
Ah, excellent. Well, how about we fill those out now then?
Okay.
So Carol, the power at my house went out last week. Did it happen to you?
Sure did.
Oh, how did you cope? Because it was such a hot day.
It was a hot day, but fortunately it was a cool morning.
Yeah.
But it did heat up pretty jolly quickly.
Yeah.
I would have been in trouble if it hadn't been cool, I think, because the green walls and the shade cloth and the big blinds help heaps. When it got hot in the afternoon, I went and had a cool shower, and there's a seat in the shower, so I stayed there wet.
Oh, good, yeah.
And I took my water in and kept with my water, and I took a book in that I didn't care if it got a bit damp, and read for a while because it was cooler in there. That was at about, 4 o'clock.
Another good thing is to have a fan with you at all, like just a hand fan. So that's good. The one that I just gave you could come in handy. Also, things like a wet hat, or not soaking wet, but just a moist hat or moist towel.
Well, this hat would be a good one to moisten.
Yeah, just to sit in, that can keep you cool. But I did notice when I walked in that there's a tub in the bathroom, which can come in really handy. I'll just grab it. This is so great to just fill with cool water and just sit your feet in there. This or a bucket.
Out here when I can't, when it's, I don't want to go into the bathroom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, hello, Lucy.
Hi Carol, how are you?
Oh, wilting.
Oh, really? I noticed you've got your action plan and the thermometer on the fridge. That's good.
Yeah.
If you're suffering from the effects of heat exhaustion, dehydration, make sure you've got a friend or family member to call on, or you've got options. Call your GP, call Nurse on Call, or if you're having serious symptoms of heat exhaustion or dehydration, call 000. Some symptoms to look out for heat exhaustion and dehydration include feeling dizzy or faint, having a headache, having a dry mouth and skin. Thirst can also be another symptom, but that is a late sign that you are already dehydrated.
Carol, I've just filled up your bottles for you before I leave.
Thank you, that's helpful.
No worries.
And what's that thing you've got round your neck today, that blue
Oh,
thing?
it's just a neck cooler. I wear this when it's hot because it stays cool around your neck for 3 to 5 hours actually.
So what do? Do you wet it?
Yeah, you can just wet it.
Like a towel, only it lasts longer.
Exactly right.
And it's not clunky.
Yes, exactly right. And I also carry a spray bottle around just for when it's hot. You can spray wherever, your neck, your face, anything like that.
Shoulders.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
They're just my little tips I use when it's
I
hot.
get really hot hands, so I think I could spray my hands.
Yeah, absolutely. They're so cheap and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.